Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the video with the Arotiar, and today I've got another Fallout 4 subscriber discussion video for you guys. For those of you who are new to this series, basically every time I hit a big subscriber milestone, I like to do something interactive with my subscribers. So to commemorate me hitting 1K subs, I decided to have some Skype discussions with my viewers about any topic they wanted to discuss pertaining to Fallout 4. Now, to be honest, coming into the event, I wasn't really sure how well things would work out, simply because logistics were very difficult, and I expected there to be some hitches along the way, but things actually ended up working out very well. It was a ton of fun being able to talk with you guys about Fallout 4, and as such, I definitely plan on doing this again for a future milestone. So if you're interested in joining a future discussion, shoot me a comment or message, and I would be happy to provide you with more info. Finally, before getting into the actual video, I've got one last thing I want to mention here, and that's pertaining to the people who are featured in these Fallout 4 discussion videos. Now, all of these people are phenomenal YouTubers in their own right, and as a consequence, I've decided to include links to all of their channels in the description and annotations. Obviously, I can't force you guys to check out their channels or anything of the sort, but one thing I would like to say is that I would really appreciate it, and they would really appreciate it as well, if you could check out the channels I have listed below after the video. So be sure to give them a look when you get some free time. Otherwise, I think it's about time to get into these discussions, guys, so I hope all of you enjoy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good.
Alright, so why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for the viewers?
Alright, I am anonymous number 0, Arotiar Kirri. I have a channel, 60 subs and stuff, with 3 other people that sadly couldn't make it.
Yeah, Arotiar's a pretty awesome YouTuber, guys. Definitely go and check him out. I had him in a Shout Out Sunday series at some point. Yeah, he's definitely awesome. So, what topic have you chosen for us today? Or I have a set of topics if you didn't choose anything.
Well, I personally am kind of interested in the storyline that's going to be introduced in Fallout 4. They've lightly touched on it, but I think it's going to be a lot more interesting than New Vegas's and Fallout 3's. I think they were good, don't get me wrong, but I think, for one, since they seem to have a more variety of the choices you make have a bigger impact on the overall experience of the game, I think there might be multiple endings to it.
Ooh.
If you think about it, though, if there's multiple endings to the game, then there might also be multiple other side quests that you can get with these endings, or without these endings, or so on and so forth. Because it would give it a bigger, vaster feel, in my opinion. It would wrap the whole thing up. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I feel like it would increase, I mean, Bethesda is all about player freedom, right? If you have multiple endings, then that's increasing player freedom, and I feel like that's totally in the spirit of the game. So, yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about that too, but I do have some fears about that as well, because I feel like in the past, Bethesda has not potentially done the best with the storyline. I don't know, maybe I'm just overhating on Bethesda. I always hate on Bethesda, so I know, it's tough to say, but I'm definitely excited to see what they do with the story as well. I actually heard an interesting theory that you will be, like, the main character, the Lone Wanderer, is actually going to be an android, and that everything that happened before, and I'm not sure how much merit there is to this theory, but everything that happened before was, like, not real, and that you're actually an android, in the same sense that, like, Harkness was in Fallout 3, and the whole thing was, like, sort of an Easter egg, like a hint as to what's gonna happen in Fallout 4. Like I said, I don't know how true that is, but I just thought I would throw that out there. I don't know.
The only question I have is, how'd you have a kid then? But I don't want to know that answer, I don't think.
That's true. Well, do we know that the kid is actually, like goes out there into the world? Or, well, I guess, yeah, I don't know how much merit there is to that theory, now that I think about it, because you wouldn't really be put into a vault, I suppose, if you weren't human. But yeah, continue.
Another thing I have, and it's kind of an interesting concept, they mentioned, I think at E3, correct me if I'm wrong, but something about the kid being a mixture between the female you make and the male you make. Why would they mention that and then your kid suddenly gets killed? Either that is a gigantic killjoy, or whatever you want to call it, or the kid's going to have a bigger significant role.
Yeah, that reminds me actually of a video I watched recently from one of my good friends, Revered Legend, who I'll leave a link to that to his channel in the description as well. But yeah, he has this whole baby theory thing where he sort of discusses, and I won't go into the details of this theory, but he sort of discusses how he thinks that, you know, your baby is going to be someone important in the world of Fallout 4, which would be really interesting if they actually did that. And, you know, obviously there's sort of some, like, time scale thing. You know, your baby could grow up to be potentially as old as you because you were in cryo sleep or whatever, and your body was being preserved. So if your baby got out of the vault before you, then your baby could potentially be as old as you and potentially be like a villain, which would be pretty intense if that were the case, or potentially help you. Either way, it would be really cool. So I don't know, just thought I would throw that out there.
You know, this is something that actually came to mind right now, but what if your baby is actually that Piper character that they keep mentioning, but they haven't said or shown who she actually is?
You know, I like that. I think that's very interesting. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of a little bit of BioShock Infinite, huh? I don't know. I haven't actually really, like, played through the game all that much. That my whole experience with BioShock Infinite is a fiasco, which I'm not going to discuss in this video, but that sort of reminds me of BioShock Infinite, of the whole thing with the main character meeting his daughter, right? And then him not actually knowing that's his daughter. I think that's what happened, right? Him not actually knowing that's his daughter and all that stuff. I don't know. Just sort of reminds me of that. That would be very interesting if that were the case.
That would be pretty cool, I gotta say. I mean, the whole thing is, like, Bethesda is very, very, very good at surprising us. I mean, just look at New Vegas, and I haven't played Fallout 3, but I've seen many Let's Plays where it's just, I was surprised at how much freedom you actually have, how much immersion it has. Another thing that interests me also is how each of the factions are going to be introduced into this one, because in New Vegas, you were kind of like introduced to like the Legion. They just like randomly came up to you and was just like, "Come over here and join us." Stuff. I want to see how they're going to introduce these guys and who they're going to be. Is there going to be different ones? Are they going to be the same? How are they connected to the ones if they are different? You know, so on and so forth.
That is also, yeah, that is also something that's definitely going to be interesting. I know, I think one of the factions is called, like, the Minute Militia, or, like, the Minutemen, or something like that. The name is slipping my mind. I apologize for that. But that faction, I know, is introduced, from what we've seen at E3. I haven't seen the leaked footage yet, so this might contradict what I'm about to say. I don't even know if I'm going to watch the leaked footage, because there's no point in me covering it, because I'll get in trouble for it. But anyways, So when I was watching the E3 footage, I noticed that when you encounter the Minute Militia, or whatever they're called, the organization that Preston Garvey's a leader of, when you encountered them, the character was at a very low level. The character was like at like level 2 or 3, or maybe he was even at level 1. I don't know. He was definitely under level 5 for sure. And that makes me think that you're going to encounter them at the beginning of the game. So that faction is probably going to be the first faction that you encounter. That's what I think, at least. So it's going to be like right off the bat, probably, I would imagine, or something like that. And you have that whole fiasco with like the Death Claw and all, and the power armor, which we saw. So that means potentially you're going to get power armor very early on in the game, which is very interesting. And I didn't realize that, like, before discussing this. But now that I threw that out there, I guess maybe we're getting power armor early in the game. Who knows?
I can't wait for the power armor, because I've never used power armor in a Fallout game yet. So that's just one of the things that I saw, and it's just like, I want it, give it now. yeah. I mean, the thing is, in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, at least from what I've heard, because I never played Fallout 1 or 2, but from what I've heard, Fallout 3 and New Vegas, you know, power armor was not very useful in comparison to Fallout 1 and 2. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here, because I'm not a Fallout expert or anything, but that's what people have generally been saying. So I'm looking forward to seeing actual useful power armor, because I feel like the power armor was just not that useful in the previous games. To be perfectly honest, it looked cool, it looked badass, and you know that was about it. The question is, if you can use the power armor, is it limitless, or is there going to only be certain times where you can use it?
Because yeah, we did see him climbing into that suit, and yeah, if they did that, that would be such a cock block, honestly. If they did that, that is actually something I would be very upset about. There are a ton of things I would be upset about that if they did the Fallout 4, that would be very upset about. The thing that would upset me the most is paid mods if they did that, which I'm not even going to get into that, because that is going to be a huge fiasco if they decide to do that. Apparently, someone told me they just tried to do that with Skyrim, but I digress here. If they do that, that would be bad. I think power armor should be something that you can wear anytime, and you could, you know, put on whenever you want, because that's just how it should operate, honestly.
We can't, if you have it all the time, it's going to end up being like this almighty, you're going to be completely overpowered, and it's not going to be that much of a challenge. It's not going to be you're not going to feel threatened, okay? But at the same time, if you have it where you only have it in certain times, it's just going to feel like a tank or something, okay? It's just going to be, oh, okay, I guess I'll use this again, you know. It won't have its feeling. So I think they should have something, maybe some sort of bar or whatever, where like once you use it, you have to wait so long until you use it again.
That is an interesting idea. That's definitely an interesting idea. Make it sort of a thing that you can't just like spam. That's a very interesting idea. Apologies, but I'm gonna have to cut this one off here because we're approaching the 10-minute mark. But it was really nice talking with you, man. That was a really fun conversation, and I definitely look forward to doing it again when I do more of these, or when we do some collaboration videos in the future.
It's really nice meeting you, man. I'm happy to do this.
All right, I would shake your hand through the screen, but I can't. So I'll just say, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.
All right, same to you, man.
What up, Ron?
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Not doing great. I'm doing great. Not doing great. Yeah, I'm rambling. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's good to be talking with you. It's good to be talking with you. So yeah, what did you want to talk about this time around?
In terms of Fallout, just did you hear that somebody traded 2,000 bottle caps for a copy of Fallout 4, and those bottle caps estimated around 4 cents in value, so he got Fallout 4 for $59.96 cheaper than what he normally would have got it for.
Oh, geez, wow. Wait, no, that's pretty absurd. 2,000 bottle caps, 4 cents each. I'm trying to do the math here. That just
no, they're not
sound
4
like
cents each.
much.
The bottle caps all together are 4 cents.
Oh, the bottle caps all together. Oh, what? That's incredible. Wow, that's very interesting. I've heard some strange stories with regards to that. Those bottle caps, they're really cool though. One YouTuber I watched was actually opening a fan mail, and he received a ton of like really awesome bottle caps. Sorry, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. And also, did you see how fast the Pip-Boy edition went out of order?
That was
like,
absurd.
Night of announce, just done.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't planning on getting it because my phone is too big. So I don't know. I think you put it on your phone, right, or something like that. I wasn't really looking at it all.
You put your phone in it.
Yeah, you put your phone in it. I think my phone was too big. But yeah, I actually still have not ordered Fallout 4 yet. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that because I want to get it the day of. I'm not really sure what the most reliable way to get it the day of is because I want to get it like literally right at the second that it comes out because I'm that freaking excited for the game. But I want to get it as soon as possible. So I'm not really sure if I should like go pick it up from the game store or if I should, you know, like order it on like Amazon, pre-order it or something like that because I've never gotten a game release day. I've actually never gotten a game release day. So I don't know.
Oh, believe me, with games on release day, it gets hectic in GameStop.
Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, I was literally going to go there at, like, 5 p.m. and just, like, stand there. Because I have nothing else to do. I hope I have nothing else to do that weekend. I have school, but, like, I guess I'm just going to say screw it that weekend and just play Fallout 4.
Yeah, but I have to manage my time because there's college, work, girlfriend.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so,
I'll still have my time.
I see. So with regards to actual aspects of the game, is there anything specific you want to discuss? Because I did have a topic in mind if you want to discuss it. Or you could recommend a topic, either way is fine.
In my opinion, the map size is just tremendous. I can't wait to see every, like, inch and corner of that map and it's just going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, that's actually what I was going to recommend. So I guess great minds must think alike here. But it's interesting. Some people have been voicing, you know, concerns about that because some people have been saying, at least some of my viewers have been saying that they don't want the map to be too big such that they can get lost in it. And me personally, I don't have any problems with that. The idea of being able to get lost in a world, it actually sounds really cool to me. But I know some people aren't okay with it. What do you think, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask.
I honestly love a world I can really get lost in because I can just go and explore and just be like, oh shit, I was trying to find this, but I ended up finding so much more.
No, I totally know how you feel. That's how I feel too. But some people apparently do not feel that way. But yeah, for me, the thing that I'm most looking forward to, which I think I recently released a top 5 video, and this was my number 1, is exploring the world. It's the world that I'm looking forward to, because that is what I feel like that is what Bethesda games are all about. And if there's one thing I trust Bethesda to get right, it's, you know, the world, the atmosphere, and just, you know, I guess the map of Fallout 4. That's one thing I trust them to get right. I have a ton of other fears for the game, but that is not really one fear I have for the game. But although one thing that I've heard is that apparently, sorry, excuse me, I had to burp, which I always do in my videos. But anyways, so one thing I do have fears about is apparently, or supposedly, the enemies aren't going to scale as you level necessarily. They're going to be harder or easier depending on the area you go into. So they're going to scale with area as opposed to level, which is not great, because like you could actually go into an area that's like meant for higher levels and get wrecked, or you could, you know, at a high level go into an area that's meant for lower levels and just make the game easy mode. So I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, some people might take a page out of like a World of Warcraft handbook and be like, okay, if I want to get stronger, I'll go fight a bunch of level 1 raiders so I can go take on that level 20 Deathclaw. It's just kind of, I think it's not bad. I think it's cool that they're trying new things, but this might not be one of the right steps to take. But it's Bethesda, so I'll see what they can do with it.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. Because on the one hand, you can't make a good game without making changes. Like, if they just gave us Fallout 3, or if they just gave us Fallout New Vegas again, then I mean, no one would be happy. People would be like, they didn't make any changes. As great as those games are, they didn't make any changes. Even if they redesigned the map, redesigned all the weapons, but had like the similar game mechanics to Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, then people still wouldn't be happy, because it's the same game ultimately. It's like a DLC for Fallout 3 or for Fallout New Vegas or whatever you want to say. So they do need to make changes, but on the other hand, I feel like if they move away from things that have been working for them in the past, it's just not a good idea. But I understand what you're saying, and I sort of agree with it to some extent.
Yeah, and Fallout 4, literally, I hope that they're doing something right with making the power armor not really something you can wear all the time. You have kind of like a limited use, but I just hope it's not like oh, hey, you use it in this mission, this mission, but you cannot use it anymore.
You know, it's interesting, the previous person I just called was actually talking about just that. We were talking about just that. And he was saying he's interested to see how that exactly is going to be implemented, the power armor use. Because like you said, it doesn't really seem like something you just put on, you know. But I feel like the fact that you can customize it, I feel like Bethesda wouldn't allow that unless it was going to play some sort of important use in the game. So I feel like maybe it's going to be different using it, but it's not going to be that hard to use. I don't know.
And I've been reading some of the forums, and they're like, oh, hey, dog meat can't die. Well, that's kind of breaking some of the immersion, because I kind of have to fear for my companion dying. Like in playing hardcore mode in Fallout New Vegas, like, if I have Boone with me, I'm like, oh shit, I'm not going to throw him in the battle. I'm probably going to be the one that charges head in so he can stay behind and so he doesn't die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true. I remember, yeah. One actually thing, speaking of companions, one thing that someone else was discussing is, so in Fallout 4, it looks like you're only going to be able to have one companion regardless, but one thing that another YouTuber was saying is he was hoping that potentially you could have multiple companions, like you'd have your own little army behind you. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, on the one hand, I sort of like the idea of exploring the world alone. On the other hand, having an army behind you sounds pretty sick, so I don't know, just thought I would throw that out there.
Well, me, how I've kind of went on with it is that if you had your army with you of all your companions, that's kind of OP for you to have, so you wouldn't really yourself have a lot of fun with it. Like in my Fallout 3 playthrough, Fox usually kills everybody before I can even get close to them, so...
That's very true. Fox is kind of a beast. But yeah, continue.
Fox and flying dog meat.
That's very true.
But this might be like a tiny little feature, but I'm really excited for it because it kind of adds a little more immersion. I'm commenting on it on your top 5 features of Fallout 4, your most recent one, is that you no longer have a Pip-Boy glove. Like, you don't have that glove in there anymore. Because when I was playing New Vegas and I wanted to disguise myself to infiltrate Caesar's Legion, I don't know why none of them would, you know, see that big hunk of metal on my arm with that most obvious glove. It's it kind of made me feel like, are these people really that stupid? Are radiation killing their brain? What's going on here?
No, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's really interesting. It's actually really interesting what they've done with a Pip-Boy in general. And that makes me sort of want to get into a whole perk chart discussion because, you know, perks, you know, I guess you can access perks from the Pip-Boy and all. But I'm actually going to have to go ahead and cut off the conversation there. I apologize, man. But it was a ton of fun. It was really a ton of fun talking to you. I look forward to doing this again whenever we collab again sometime in the future. But you got any closing words here?
Nope, just, you know, I guess everybody subscribe to Rohan, check out me, you know, PotananaJim. I make Fallout 3, Manhunt 2, and Fallout Shelter and Dishonored playthroughs, so I guess check me out.
Yep.
And we'll see you later, taters.
His link will be down below, and I will also put an annotation in, and we will see you guys later.